First of all, I must say that I'm sitting with so big names of the industry, as well as associated with such a big such big brands in this industry of entrepreneurial education also. Thank you so much, and a big round of applause for all of us, including me, that I've got a great pleasure to sit with all this. Thank you so much. So, first of all, I should start with Mr. Mr. Singhal, sorry. So, Mr. Singhal, as I've already said, you are associated with ISB. You are heading AIC, Atal Incubation Centers. So, with this experience of yours, as you are associated with such a big brand, what is your vision and what is your take? How do you take this as a big brand or a big challenge that you are going to solve, or a big solution that you are going to give to the industry?
That's a very interesting question. Thank you for that. Also, thank you Punjab Angels Network for having me here. I think the good part about being associated with a brand as large as ISB, I think most of the speakers in some way or the other talked about or mentioned ISB in the context of entrepreneurship, right? So it's really big. It's the best B school of the country, plus phenomenal place for entrepreneurship in general. The good part is, when you have a brand like that, you always aim to push it a notch higher, right? So that percolates through to the activities that we also do at Atal Incubation Center in the ISB Mohali campus, or with iVenture at ISB, which is the larger umbrella of entrepreneurship at ISB. We run several accelerator programs, incubation, pre-incubation, etc. But with all of these, our benchmarks of quality are really high. What do I mean by that? The kind of mentors I have on my board, all of these are seasoned people comprising of professors or alums of ISB working in different spheres. So I'm blessed to have an exclusive access to them. But when I match them with a startup, I'm very careful to match the right mentor to the right startup, right? So the quality benchmark for mentors is high. Quality benchmarks for the startups also is very high when they come to our program. So, as much as we like to support a lot of young startups, any startup who comes to us generally goes through a series of evaluation before they are able to make it to our programs. And once they do, of course, we stay with them throughout, right? So the quality is I think, to maintain.
I take it as a very diplomatic answer as a CEO. This is an expertise of a precision expertise of a CEO कि अपनी तारीफ भी नहीं की और बैक ऑफ द माइंड कर भी दी, हमें पता चल गया, और साथ में आपने ऑनर किया अपने ब्रांड को, ISB को. Thank you so very much. And my next question is to Mr. Tushar. Tushar, when I just heard about you that you are the founder of My Soho, I took it as कि यार ये co-working space है. But the moment I listened to you, I've heard from you that this is not just a co-working space. It is an idea. It is a very much scalable idea. I must appreciate that also. And I must say, I would ask rather, how do you take it as entrepreneurship? What do you see inside in this industry as an entrepreneur?
So first of all, I want to thank Makar Saab and Anuradha ma'am and Punjab Angels for having me over. Now about co-working. Co-working started with a thought that हमारे जो tier 2 towns है ना, उसमें talent है, एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, what is lacking is infrastructure, which is different from tier 1 cities. How do we plug that? And that infrastructure leads to entrepreneurial growth. तो उस thought को लेते हुए we built the second stage of incubators. Incubation में there is a learning curve, but in offices what we develop, there is people who come and they execute their ideas. So entrepreneurs के लिए एक ऐसा ecosystem जो कि एक infrastructure उसको support कर रहा है has been a tremendous journey. And I'm not saying co-working offices or flexible offices are here to save money for any entrepreneur, but I think productivity is the key, flexibility is the key, and convenience is the key. And when you have a package of all these three things, time actually gets converted into more productive efforts. So एक entrepreneur के लिए ये बहुत समझना important है. Like आज एक consumer की तरह हम Zomato क्यों order करते हैं? Convenience के लिए. हम Urban Clap क्यों use कर रहे हैं? Convenience के लिए. तो एक convenience एक बहुत important है. Again flexibility. When you come to an office where you can upsize and downsize anytime. You don't have to wait to sign a lease, do a project and start your office after 4 months. Everything is so quick and happens in minutes. And when you have offices across the town, across in different parts of the city, and one office subscription can get you access to many offices, तो आप अपने zonal branches एकदम से खोल पाओ. तो ऐसी enablement अगर हम एक brand umbrella के अंदर दे पा रहे हैं, so I believe that can be a great starting point for anybody who wishes to become a scalable entrepreneur. And ये एक thought लेके हम इस ecosystem को develop कर रहे हैं.
Very intellectual answer. Thank you so very much. And my next question is with Mr. Garg. Mr. Garg, as you are heading SEED, Center for Entrepreneurial Education, what is it, Development. Am I right? Chitkara University.
Let's call it SEED.
SEED, right. So, at SEED, what is your experience? So, I must ask that how do you take it when someone as a startup comes to you and asks for fulfilling his aspirations also? How do you take that challenge? How do you nurture those startups?
Wonderful. So a very good evening to all of you. Can someone help me understand what did he ask? Can someone just repeat the question?
Should I or someone?
So the reason why we all are actually sitting here is for the benefit of the audience. It's not just for the sake of the panel. It's not just for the sake of the snacks, or it's not just for the sake of the quick drinks. That is why I actually asked.
So he is activating you all.
Now the most important question is that इन्होंने दो शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया. When a student comes to me and how to fulfill his challenging demand or aspiration. If the student is coming to me and he's already actually having a challenging aspiration, my 90% of the job is already done. Because the most important thing which I tell him or her, and one important thing which I would like to categorize specifically, we should stop thinking in terms of women entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship का अगर हमने इसके आगे bifurcation किया ना, तो जातियां बन जाएंगी. Entrepreneur is an entrepreneur, a leader is a leader. Now most important thing, when they come to me, I tell them, be ready to fail. Most important concept which I tell them is be ready to fail. अगर आप fail हो गए, तो that is your first success. Because when you are in the academic ecosystem, अगर उसको पहली success बहुत जल्दी मिल गई ना first year में, he is bound to fail in the future. So I thoroughly and rigorously and with all my heart implement the concept of fail safe, fail fast. जो आपने fail होना जल्दी fail हो जाओ, but we are there to help you understand from your failure. So this is the point number one, sir. Keeping it very short, second thing which we do is that we collaborate. We make an ecosystem, चाहे वो ISB हो, चाहे वो MISO हो, चाहे वो IIT IIMs हो, चाहे वो even Thapar हो. Though I am bearing a brand, but I extend my open invitation to all the institutions. Let's collaborate, let's work together. Whatever the best resources you have, whatever the best learnings you have, let's work together for promotion of the ecosystem. So these are the two simple things, sir, which we are doing, and that actually resulted in 280 plus startups with us, and all of them, जो मैं कहना नहीं चाह रहा था, are women entrepreneurs, but I also ensure 50% of the stakes are with the men.
थैंक यू सो मच मिस्टर गर्ग, आपकी बहुत बढ़िया चीज़ लगी। मुझे बैठे बैठे उसमें से एक चीज़ इन्होंने बोली कि योर फर्स्ट फेलियर इज द फर्स्ट सक्सेसफुल स्टेप टुवर्ड्स अ बिगर सक्सेस। एम आई राइट? एब्सोल्युटली। और दूसरी चीज़ जो मुझे समझ लगी इनसे, दैट इज इंटीग्रिटी। इंटीग्रिटी इज द बिगेस्ट सोल्यूशन। वी टॉक अबाउट एनी एंड एवरी इकोसिस्टम इन दिस वर्ल्ड, इंटीग्रिटी इज द बेस्ट सोल्यूशन। Anyways, thank you so much once again. Again to Mr. Naman. Mr. Naman, what is the biggest challenge? अभी जो आपको ISB में लगा कि नहीं मुझे ये करके दिखाना है या ये चीज़ यहाँ पे बहुत प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, what is the core problem जो जनरली आपको स्टार्टअप्स में दिखती है?
Sir, startups के point of view से तो I can talk, but on the challenge, the biggest challenge I think everybody, and we are in the room full of investors. I think incubators की भी funding की भी कोई बात नहीं करता. I think that is also a big challenge for all of us. On the startup side, I think, you know, while we deal with slightly matured startups, we generally come in when you've got your POCs done, you've got some bit of market presence, and then we are good on the scale-up side, right? So the first level of challenge, I think, which Piyush ji also mentioned, is the first level of failures is actually getting your product right. You know? So that is something that is that we generally in our acceleration programs, we've already mitigated that. What specific challenge that comes to us is actually the storyline itself. So there are good startups with genuine intent to build good products, who have been able to find good gaps in the market, but they are not able to communicate their storyline very effectively. So we identified that, and you know, as typical B school approach, we looked at what the insight is. So insight मिला कि storyline पे काम करो. We started working on it. And we said we'll get you the best mentors who will help you develop that storyline for yourself. So we actually have in one of the modules of our programs, we keep something around storytelling, which then follows up with a pitch, presentations, then the fundraising, etc. But the story itself is very interesting. It also, you know, it is a culmination of a lot of activities, to be honest, because for defining the right story, you actually have to go very deep with the entrepreneur and sit with them over a series of calls to identify कि आपका need क्या है, right? What have you been doing? And then you start stitching the entire thing together. That's the job of the mentor.
So I must say that you end up with synchronizing yourself with the storyline of the entrepreneurs or startups. Very good. Thank you so very much. Mr. Thapar, once again. Oh, sorry. And I'm very bad in recalling names. Sorry for that. Mr. Tushar, co-working space में challenges तो मुझे पता है काफ़ी होते हैं, लेकिन सेम क्वेश्चन मैं आपको थोड़ा अलग वे से पूछने लगा हूँ कि यहाँ पे आप एंटरप्रेन्योरियल लेवल पे जो चैलेंज देख रहे थे, किस चैलेंज के साथ आप यहाँ पे आए थे, वो कैसे पिवट हो गया, अगर हुआ तो वो आप एक्सप्लेन कीजिए प्लीज।
तो आई थिंक कोवर्किंग स्पेसेस या फ्लेक्सिबल वर्क स्पेसेस में सबसे बड़े चैलेंजेस जो दो हमने फेस किए हैं अपना जर्नी। नंबर वन, अगर एक एंटरप्रेन्योर या एक कंपनी जिसको एक ऑफिस चाहिए, वो पूछते थे व्हाट इज अ कोवर्क या व्हाट इज अ फ्लेक्सिबल स्पेस। एंड एक लैंडलॉर्ड, क्योंकि कोवर्किंग स्पेस इज अ रियल एस्टेट डिपेंडेंट इंडस्ट्री, तो एक लैंडलॉर्ड भी पूछता था व्हाट इज अ कोवर्किंग स्पेस। पर आज की डेट में ये दोनों challenges have actually converted into an opportunity. Now the demand has risen to a level that people understand that what flexibility means to them. एक landlord को भी आज समझ आ रहा है कि I cannot do conventional leasing anymore. I have to dedicate some portfolio to a flexible workspace. So this has given us an edge. Secondly, just after COVID, there was a big culture where work from home, culture was really in, and companies really believe that this is the way to sustain. But now it is very evident that even hybrid or complete work from office has come back into force. But the beauty is, जो younger towns है, tier 2 towns and tier 3 towns, अगर हम as a brand वहाँ पे एक infrastructure provide कर पाएं, those companies are willing to offer their employees the best of infrastructure from companies like us, and they get world-class facilities where they can perform their productive tasks to the best. So I think the challenges have actually become opportunities now.
So you are ready to take bigger challenges?
Absolutely.
And I wish you all the very best for this.
Thank you.
And again to Mr. Garg. Mr. Garg, okay, as anything and everything in this world is based upon an ecosystem, right? So this entrepreneurial ecosystem is one of those. What do you think? What should be the model ecosystem to make this industry a successful, you can say, to make this ecosystem, you can say, they're successful?
So I think I'll be safe to assume that your question in reference to entrepreneurial ecosystem.
True, definitely.
Simplest possible answer. If you have to make an entrepreneurial ecosystem successful, make sure that the ecosystem runs like an entrepreneur. अगर आपका ecosystem सरकारी तंत्र की तरह चलेगा या कंपनीज की तरह चलेगा, वो कभी भी entrepreneurial ecosystem के लिए beneficial नहीं होगा. So for that reason, just for an example, when I said that an entrepreneurial ecosystem has to work like an entrepreneur, I made sure that my entrepreneurial ecosystem space in the university starts at 6 in the morning and open till 12 at midnight. My employees, those who are actually part of my family, are instructed to respond to the queries of the students even at 11 at night or 12 at night. फेल होने से घबराना नहीं है, फेल हमारा धर्म सिद्ध अधिकार है, बस उससे सीखना है. लास्ट पार्ट जो मेरे ब्रदर ने कहा, नमन जी ने, फंडिंग ऑफ एन इकोसिस्टम, बिल्कुल चिंता मत करो. मेक योर कस्टमर्स योर इन्वेस्टर्स. अगर वो आपके इन्वेस्टर बन गए, साथ में आपको हैंड होल्डिंग मिल गया, जो पतंग की बात 2 स्पीकर्स ने करी थी, आई एम प्रीटी श्योर इन्वेस्टर्स लाइन लगा के आपके पास आ जाएंगे. सो समराइज कर रहा हूं सर, आई एम अज्यूमिंग दिस इज द लास्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर द डे, राइट? Work like an entrepreneur, make an ecosystem like an entrepreneur, make your customers your investors. That's it.
Very good, very good. Thank you, very well explained, all of you speakers. जो इकोसिस्टम की बात आपने की है, मैं उसको कंक्लूड कर रहा हूँ आप ही के वे में, आप ही की लैंग्वेज में, कि इट इज़ जस्ट लाइक a plane, an aeroplane, or you can say it is just like a parachute. जब तक वो सारे स्ट्रिंग्स सिंक्रोनाइज नहीं है आपस में, तब तक पैराशूट की लैंडिंग सही नहीं होगी. और इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे जहाँ पे हम बैठे हैं, दिस इज अ प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ पंजाब एंजल्स नेटवर्क, जिन्होंने सभी इकोसिस्टम्स को इंडिविजुअली जोड़ने के कारण, इकोसिस्टम आई मीन टू से स्मॉलर इकोसिस्टम्स ऑफ द बिगर एंटरप्रेन्योरियल इकोसिस्टम. तो ये छोटे छोटे इकोसिस्टम जैसे जुड़ेंगे, सिंक्रोनाइज हो जाएंगे, तो it will definitely make the bigger ecosystem successful. Thank you so very much for being here, all of you, Mr. Tushar, Mr. Naman, Mr. Piyush. Thanks once again.
Thank you.